rumors are swirling that Xbox is creating an Xbox handheld device, and I think it should be a Windows device. Windows and Xbox are more and more integrated as the years go on. From the very beginning, Xbox has been a play for Microsoft to try and get Windows into more and more houses. That was the reason why Bill Gates actually said yes to the project in the first place. It was the argument that Apple was going to dominate them one day if they made a console. And over the years, Xbox has had various integrations with Windows, and I think in the Xbox One generation going into the Series X, we've seen a lot more of those. Right now, if you're on Windows, press Windows key and G. You will see an Xbox overlay, and you might not have realized that it's on your computer until just now. You have an Xbox app, download it if you have Windows. And of course, if you have Xbox Game Pass or you have a game on Xbox as a first party, you probably have a PC code of it because you can just do Xbox Play Anywhere, where you go on the Xbox app on your Xbox or on your actual Windows machine, and boom, you have the same game on both devices. That easy. And I always find it so funny when people are like, hey, the PlayStation is Xbox's biggest competitor. Yes and no. The biggest competitor to Xbox, in my opinion, or at least Microsoft as a whole, in the gaming division, is Valve. Valve just created the Steam Deck, which is essentially a Trojan horse of Linux. Anyone that has a Steam Deck also has a Linux gaming computer, and they might not even notice it. If you have a Steam Deck, you can download every video game that you want from Steam, play it, and you might not even realize that if you hold down the power button, you can go into desktop mode. You have access to the entirety of Linux gaming and just desktop integration right there. Don't need to do anything. It's just, you just have a Linux computer. How cool is that? I'm sure Microsoft is not very happy about that. Windows, even though it's doing extraordinarily well, has a lot of competitors right now. Of course, we have Apple, which is always neck and neck with Microsoft and Windows, but now we have the Chromebook, which is growing and growing and growing in the minds of younger people as their dominant OS, especially when schools are just giving them Chromebooks because they're so goddamn cheap. And I'm sure that the rise of Linux in gaming is not making Xbox specifically very, very excited for the future. If we have a new generation of people who just have Steam Decks, who really love this console and potentially just love Linux, you're going to start to see those dividends kind of grow over the years. So here's my pitch for an Xbox gaming handheld. Have it dual boot. Have it launch in a traditional Xbox launcher, right? You start it up, oh my gosh, boom, it's basically a Series S in my hands. I can download all my Xbox games easily, play them all, don't have to worry about it. But if you hold down a button, you can switch into Windows mode, and there you are. Now you're able to download every video game in the world that you could possibly imagine from Steam, from Epic Games, from Xbox, and just do anything with it. Connect a keyboard, connect a mouse, boom, you have a computer. That, to me, seems like the smartest idea humanly possible for Xbox and Microsoft right now. In a world where they are trying to integrate as much as possible to kind of blur the lines between Xbox and Microsoft and what it is and Windows, why not have it so then every single Xbox is also a Windows computer? You might say, Roger, why would they want anybody to play their games on Steam if they get more of a cut on Xbox? I totally get that. But also, Xbox sells their games on Steam. They're trying to go for the widest audience possible. They just announced that they're putting 4 games on every single platform, including PlayStation and Switch. It seems like they're trying to test the waters on becoming an agnostic platform eventually and becoming the biggest video game publisher in history. And it makes sense for them to try to indoctrinate as many people, not only in the Xbox branding, but in the Windows branding as a whole, just from the get-go. And come to think about it, it's a way easier sell to parents to say, hey, do you want to just buy a video game console? Or do you want to buy a video game console that's also a computer? So in the middle of a Halo match, you can just plug in a keyboard, switch the tabs, and say, oh my god, Mom, I was just in the middle of this Office 365 PowerPoint. Think about that. Think about that. You thought about that, Mom? You thought about that, Tim Dog? But for real, I think that this might be the future for Microsoft and Xbox as a whole. I know it might not be the most exciting one, but In my mind, I think that this is the easiest way to add value to the Xbox brand while also creating synergy within the company. I would even love for this to go even more forward, where they're able to integrate this into a mainline Xbox for the next generation. Imagine that, being able to just plug in an Xbox, play it, and then switch over to a computer so you can watch movies, or you can download things and you can have it all ready to go on a media server that is your Xbox. I think that there's a lot of possibilities in just merging these two worlds, and I also think it's really pro-consumer, and if Xbox is trying to become the pro-consumer brand that they want to be, having a Windows computer inside of your Xbox also allows for a lot better preservation in the future, which is a huge issue right now that people are really scared of. And honestly, I don't think that this business update that they just did really inspired much confidence. It was a lot of, we'll try to do it as much as possible. Windows in general has great preservation because it is a community-based effort, right? It is a closed system, but so many people know how to develop for Windows. You can easily download third-party apps and emulation and all that jazz. An Xbox on a closed ecosystem, you really can't do that. So being able to have a Windows computer inside my Xbox gives me a lot more safety in my games than anything else. But what do you guys think? Do you think merging Xbox and Windows into one thing is a smart idea? Do you think it'll ever happen? I know it's a far-fetched idea, but the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of convinced that that might be the future of this generation. The more I think about it, the more I'm... So what do you guys think? So what do you guys think? Do you think that that is a possibility? Do you think that Xbox and So what do you guys think? Do you think that Xbox and Windows are going to merge into a console or a handheld? Or do you think that this is a far-fetched idea? Let me know down in the comments, and if you like it, feel free to share it.